What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. We're here at Hustler. Just flew in this morning, and we're joined here with our boy Mariano here in the background, but we're right outside the Hustler live show. Got the live stream going on, 10-20, $10,000 cap, and it'll be a good time. We'll try to make some punts, make some cool things happen, but this is going to be the first video of our little LA traveling series, and we'll see a lot of videos here because tomorrow we're going to play another game on the live stream, then 2 meetup games following that as well. So a lot of videos to come. Hopefully enjoy, catch some punts. But yeah, if you're here, if you're new to the channel, like the video. It's always much appreciated, and that subscribe button is always free. Thank you guys so much for the support on this channel so far, and having the opportunity to travel and play poker on our live stream is pretty cool. So yeah, we'll get in there pretty soon. Game's gonna get started. Let's go. Let's get strapped into this Hustler 10-20 live stream game where it's a $10,000 max buy-in, and one of the first hands to start the session with King Jack offsuit. We're in the big blind, and there is an undergun open to $70. Action folds to me, and for $50 more, definitely going to defend with a playable hand. We're off to see a flop, which comes 3-5-6 2 hearts. I checked him on a board that doesn't connect with us at all, and he throws out a bet of 110. On a board that usually hits more than me, obviously, like I said, I don't have any cards that connect with this board, but I'm a little suspicious of his bet. Seems like it could be a bluff a lot of the time, or at the very least, if we raise, we can apply a lot of pressure. But for now, let's just make the call with some fuckery on the way. We've got some bad intentions. Let's see a turn. The turn is the 10 of diamonds, brings in 2 flush draws now. I just check it over to him with my king high hand, and now he throws out a bet of $250. Time to release the trap, or at least make it look like I am releasing the trap. I put in a stone cold bluff and put in a check raise to $1,000. This puts Ronnie into the tank for a while. As you can see, he does have a flush draw, so not a hand with 0 equity like mine, but after a while of thinking, he ends up folding. We get this bluff through, and it works according to plan. So got a hot start so far. After that hot start with the check raise, unfortunately, we play 2 hours of poker, or actually we watch 2 hours of poker. In this next hand, 2 hours after that hand, nothing happens, but we look down at king, queen of clubs in the cutoff. The $40 straddle is on like it's been on all night, and the hijack opens it up to $130. Finally, we've got a pretty good hand to get involved with, so I 3-bet to 400 in position. Action folds to the undergun player, Armenian Mike. He makes the call. Now back to this hijack player, who obviously has a pretty good hand, as you can see on screen. Bad time to put in a 3-bet because he puts in a 4-bet to $2,300, which is pretty massive. Although we are in position of him, I don't know, just not really a sizing that I'm comfortable calling with. It's really large, and as you can see, he has aces, so luckily we're able to just fold and get away from this one fairly cheaply. But after 3 hours of folding, which isn't really like me, I'm hoping to see another decent hand coming up soon. No real hands happened for another hour after that, so it's almost seemed like we haven't played a hand for 3 full hours at this point. We finally pick up this hand. With 10-9 of clubs in the small blind, $40 straddle is on. Armenian Mike limps in from early position, and I've seen him limp a lot of hands. So when it's on to me, we're out of position. I just size up to $200, and as expected, he is the only caller. So we're off to a flop, which looks pretty good in 10-9-5 2 spades. With top 2 pair, I know Mike is stuck a few $1,000s, and against someone who doesn't seem like he wants to fold, I'm going to bet out on the larger side to $300. And with this $300 bet, he makes the call relatively quickly. As you can see, he has a gut shot straight draw and an over. When the turn is the 3 of diamonds, it's a complete brick card on this board. And given all of the factors, and considering we're out of position and knowing Mike doesn't really want to fold given the dynamics, I decided to size up for an overbet here, as I think he'll call with a bunch of different stuff, with some open-ended straight draws, any 1-pair holding. So I throw out $1,500 in the middle, and sadly, he just didn't have a whole lot in this situation. He makes the fold with a gutter, but I do think that if he did have any piece of the board, he'd most likely call. So nothing too interesting so far. We're losing a little bit, but in this hand with ace-10 offsuit, in the hijack, I decided to open it up to $120. Only the button decides on making the call. So once again, we're going heads up to a flop. The flop comes king, queen, 6 rainbow. It's a pretty good flop for me. Should hit me more at the very least. So I start off with a bet of $100, and on the button player AC, he makes the call. When the turn comes, the Jack of Spades, absolute Bank City card here. We're loving this spot with the nuts straight. I bet out again, and I size to 350, sizing up as he certainly can have a lot of 2-pair combos now, or even a 10 for a pair and open-ended draw. So I think he can call a lot of large bets, and for 350, he does once again make the call. So we're off to a river, not afraid of too much, and the river is another 6. So an even better card to see now that all the 1-pair holdings like King X improved to 2-pair. And with $1,200 in the middle, definitely want to size up and just try to get maximum value. So I throw out 1,000, and he decides on flicking in a call, saying that Ace King is good. Well, I don't have Ace King, but I do have Ace 10, and I also think that's going to take it down. So we get paid after hitting the gutter and win some money here. I'm starting to rack in some chips after being card dead for the first 4 hours of the stream. Speaking that into existence, we pick up pocket kings in this next hand in the cutoff, so card deadness is gone, it seems. The hijack opens to 130. Onto me next to act. I'm going to put in a 3-bet. And I'm going to size to $400. The player to my left now cold calls my $400 3-bets, and he's in position of us. Everyone folds around, so we're going heads up once again, but we're out of position this time to a good-looking flop of Jack 10 deuce to spades. With my overpair, we block a lot of draws with a spade in hand and also king queen. So I throw out a bet of $650, expecting our hand to be good here a lot of the time. And he does end up making the call for $650. So hoping to see some sort of brick turn, but the turn is the queen of spades. So it's a pretty sick card actually, as we have improved to a royal draw along with an open-ended straight flush draw, which is really cool. Not so cool, however, though, that we're out of position, and that if I do bet, I think just a lot of the hands that will call a bet will be a lot of 2 pairs that get there. And the only hand we realistically beat is some sort of ace of spades holding. So with that said, it's not relatively a good card for us, I don't think. I check now out of position, expecting to just check call a lot of the time, but he ends up checking it back. So we're off to a river, which is the 8 of diamonds, 4-liner on the board now, and a 9 makes a straight. This is just super connected, and I'm kind of hating the situation, so I decide to just check, playing this out of position, and he ends up checking back and showing ace jack. Our pocket kings is going to win, but really unfortunate run out that we couldn't get more money against flop top. But at the very least, we still get chips pushed our way after a pretty scary run out. So I've mentioned so far we've been card dead and we haven't played too many hands. So in this situation, after that pocket kings hand, picking up 4 or 5 of spades and +2, I raise it up to $120. Certainly a very fun hand to play these suited connectors. Mike in the small blind makes the call for 120, and now Landon in the big blind puts in a 3-bet and sizing up to $550. We're in position, and knowing that if we make the call, I think our median Mike will also come along and call a lot of the time as well. I don't necessarily think Landon is going to be squeezing too light here from the big blind, but this is a very fun hand to play. Let's gamble it up. I make the call, and surprisingly, Mike folds after all that I thought that was going to happen. So, anyways, we're still, once again, heads up. The flop comes king, 5, deuce, 2 diamonds. Overall, pretty decent flop for us with middle pair, but also a better flop for Landon to continue putting out a bet, as he would with all of his hands, whether they'd bet as bluffs or value. He does end up betting out 420, really great sizing, lovely number to see. And with middle pair here, like I said, he can bet a lot with his entire range on this board, so I make the call and let's just see what happens on the turn. When the turn is the 6 of diamonds, the flush draw does get there, but we also improve to a gut shot straight draw. Landon does not slow down and continues firing again for $1,150. At this point, I think he's just trying to rep a pretty narrow range for value. So as a non-believer, I think we just have to bluff catch for now, make the call, and also consider bluffing ourselves on some river cards. So we make the call and we're off to a river. The river is the 8 of clubs. On this board, it's a complete blank. And when Landon's thinking about it for a while, at this point, I'm hoping he checks now and giving us the option to bluff at this. We would honestly hate to see a bet from Landon, and luckily we do not see a bet. He ends up checking to us, and now it's a decision of whether we want to bluff at this or think that our pair of fives can be good sometimes. And given the dynamics of the whole action, I think sometimes he can show up with a lot of hands like queens through nines with a diamond that can bet flop and turn. So with that said, I decide on bluffing at this one to bluff out all of those hands if he could somehow have them. I size to $2,700. This isn't a bet that I think that can fold a lot of King X holdings or one pair like pocket aces, but he quickly folds as he has neither of any of those foldings. We actually end up having the best hand, but I'm pretty happy to see this $2,700 bluff get through. And it's really silly to think that just a few videos ago, I was max buying in for $1,000 at 2-5 in New Hampshire. And now we're bluffing for almost 3 times the amount of that buy-in. So a little bit sweaty, but we get it through. And one of the last interesting hands of the night of the stream. Strap in, everyone. It is certainly going to be fun. We pick up ace-10 offsuit in the button, and the action folds around to the cutoff player to my right, who opens it up to $130. Versus the cutoff open, we're in position. I think I prefer 3-betting more, so I decide to raise it up to 400, bumping up the price. Action folds around to the cutoff, and he makes the call with a better hand than us, surprisingly. But when the flop becomes ace-10-4, 2 diamonds, don't you love seeing that? He checks to me, and with the board pretty much locked up with top 2 pair, I go for a smaller sizing of $250, trying to get some worse suspect hands to be making the call. But he thinks 250 is a little too small, and he puts in a check raise to 700. Oh boy. He covers me by a bunch, and this is just music to our ears. We're both playing relatively deep stacked over 13,000, and let's try to build a big pot here. I'm gonna make the call and we evaluate a turn. When the turn is the ace of spades, this is so sick. We've improved to the nut full house, and even better, he continues for another big bet of $1,600. In facing this sizing now, I'm trying to figure out the best way to get all the money in the middle at this point, and I thought about calling for a while here, considering that he might be on some sort of flush draw, but if he bricks out, then it seems really unlikely that he barrels off and bluffs the river once the diamonds miss. So I think the best way to go for max value, and considering how deep we are, is to put in a raise. And I size up to $4,500. I think he can call sometimes with a lot of very strong flush draws, or if he somehow has that case ace with a good kicker, then oh boy, this is gonna be fun. For $4,500, he thinks about it for a very long time and ultimately ends up just making the call. So we're off to see a river in the biggest pot we've played in by far all day. Can we see a brick river, please? The river comes the Jack of Diamonds. So not a brick card that I wanted to see, but not a huge cause of concern either, considering how strong our hand is. We do lose to a few hands like ace jack or even a royal flush, as that's a possibility. But when he checks to me here, I can't be afraid of those 2 specific hands, and I debate between jamming, ripping it all in, or just a different sizing. I ultimately decided on betting out $5,500. I think flushes easily make the call for $5,500, but in this off chance where he has the case ace for trips, I think a smaller sizing can get him to call more. And he goes just deep into the tank, and this hand has taken a long time, but I'm going to just sit here, stare at the flop, and be as still as possible, putting on my best poker face. And ultimately, he does make the call. We show our full house, and we scoop the largest pot we've ever played in or that we've ever won of over $22,000. The power of the Luck Box. Thank you to this t-shirt. And if this pot wasn't exciting enough for you after scooping in all those chips, Subscribe for more madness in the very next video that's coming soon. Trust me, we blow this record of my largest pot I've ever played in by a huge margin in the next video, so 22,000 is nothing. Subscribe for that video. All right, wrapping up the session here. We are in downtown LA. I don't know, this view is absolutely insane, just hanging out with a few buddies. But the session went well. There's a train. I don't know, just appreciate this view, all right? First up, I just want to say with the outro, absolutely crazy session. I don't know, I mean, like, to be able to travel once again and be in LA, someone that's always been from the East Coast my entire life, and be able to travel and also play poker on stream and also have the biggest poker pot I've ever played in my life captured, and to be able to win that, all phenomenal. So what a crazy day this was. For the numbers of the session, we were in the game for like $11,400, out of the game for $24,070. Yeah, that's a good day. 24,000, 25,000, I don't know what it was. At the end of the day, I think I made like $14,000. That is by far the biggest session I've ever had in my life, and it's only the beginning of this LA trip. I don't know what to say. Just thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for all your support and letting me be here and have this opportunity, and to be able to capture it for you guys in the vlog is incredible. So if you made it this far in that video, leave a like. We've got some fun things coming up. The very next video will be a 5-5-50 game, uncapped game, so that will get pretty big on the Hustler live stream as well. And then the next 2 videos after that will be meetup games from this weekend. So yeah, be on the lookout. There'll be fun videos. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe for more content. You don't want to miss it. Peace.